My name is James Blackburn. I live and work in the American Southwest. As a result, I have the good fortune to be able to travel to a variety of beautiful locations. As a professional filmmaker, I document my life through video adventures and I share them with the world. Stay tuned as I travel through the world of movies and the beautiful outdoors. Thanks for watching the James Blackburn Experience.
Good howdy, folks. Welcome to another James Blackburn Experience. Today, I'm heading up to the Jemez Mountains of New Mexico, and I'm on Forest Road 376, I believe is the number, and I'm coming up to the famous Gilman tunnels. This is a old road and tunnels that used to be a train track through here for a mining operation back here years and years ago. And now the road is paved, at least up to the tunnels or a little bit past, but then it becomes a dirt road and you can come back here and camp and explore. So yeah, check this out. Isn't this awesome? There's two tunnels. Right here's the first one, and then the second one comes right afterwards. Yeah, I've always loved this place. Very cool. Here in a second, we're going to stop up here at the waterfalls just past the second tunnel, and that's always beautiful. Alright, so this is the second tunnel. I just drove through this and I parked. There's a parking area just after you come out of this tunnel that's right over here, and you can kind of put your vehicle here and then go and check out the waterfalls down below, which is really cool. Beautiful place. Love the sound of rushing water. So there you go. Gilman Tunnels, waterfalls. Very awesome. Love this place. I discovered it over 25 years ago when I first moved here, and it's gotten a lot more popular, and I'm here on a holiday weekend, so I'm glad I'm up here early Friday so I can go find a good campsite before the crowds show up later tonight. So yeah, so let's get moving. So yeah, the pavement ends here, and then the rest of the dirt road, which is, I think, just a little over 20 miles long, is just dirt gravel like this, and eventually it goes up on the top of the mesa to a much higher elevation, and from there I believe it turns back north again and heads back to a paved highway at one point. But you got 20 miles of dirt road here or so to explore, and lots of places to camp along the way. So stay tuned, because I will find a good spot to camp here in a little bit, and then we are going to have ourselves a beautiful and awesome place to hang out for the next 24 or so hours. Alright, we're not even a half mile into the road, but you can already see on the right hand side up here, it kind of opens up and drops off there. The reason for that is the creek is down there to the right, and this road does go up in elevation for a little bit, and then it kind of goes back down, and then eventually back up again. But right now we're on the first up part, and then it'll go back down here in a little while, and we won't be far from the creek actually, which is always nice to be able to camp here. A gentle creek, you know, with the beautiful sound of the water cascading nearby is always a nice thing. So yeah, there it is. Most of this dirt road is in pretty good shape. As you can see, it's not too bad. There are some bumpy areas and some washboardy areas, so I would recommend maybe not bringing too small of a car, or a car that's too low to the ground, because you will bottom out a couple times up here. There are few bumpy areas as you can see, but mostly the road is in pretty good shape. Getting in four-wheel drive truck never hurts. I have one of those, but I don't even have it in four-wheel drive right now. I only have it in two-wheel drive. So yeah, it's getting me in safely and nicely, and boy is it beautiful out here right now. Oh my goodness, look at all these beautiful healthy pine trees. Man, oh man, I am just so happy and excited to be able to get to the outdoors again. I haven't gotten outdoors enough in 2024, so it's feeling good to just be out here, even in my truck as I'm driving. It's just nice to be here. Yeah, you can see that some parts of these roads up here are not very wide. You could get two vehicles side by side on some of this, but it'll be really tight. Other spots it's literally a single lane, and you have to pull over and wait for cars to go by occasionally. Although I say cars, but usually it's a car or a truck. There's never a lot of traffic back here, which is really nice. I mean, I've been up here 3.5 miles of driving, and I've only seen 3 or 4 other vehicles, and some of those were parked and camping already. Some of them were up here hiking, and one of them was driving out. So other than that, it looks exactly like this. Just beautiful day and not a lot of people around. There's also a lot of interesting rock formations up here along the way. That's always kind of fun and neat to check out, especially with my rock climbing past. I love rock. To look at it, be near it, climb it, go inside of it if there's a cave. Yeah, I love the Jemez Mountains. You know, the Sandia Mountains by Albuquerque are probably my top favorite mountain because they're the first mountains I've lived near, and they're the ones I've hiked the most. But the Jemez Mountains are a close second for sure. These mountains are about an hour from Albuquerque, and they're just special. There's something just really nice about being up here in the clean air and the pine trees, a higher elevation. It's very special to me. Very, very special. All right, folks. This is going to be a special James Blackburn experience because I'm doing something that I've kind of not really ever done before. Nice campsite down there. And that is, I am going to solo camp tonight. Now, I have kind of solo camped here and there where I was camping with friends, but I hiked, half mile or more away where I couldn't see them or hear them or see the campfire. So kind of solo camped before, but this will be my first official solo camp where there's nobody else nearby, at least people that I know. So I'm excited about it. We're going to see how my brain thinks about all of it later on today. So yeah. All right, I'm about 5.5 miles in. This is when the campsite starts showing up. Here's one right here. I want to get a little further off the road though. That's a little too close, so we'll keep going here for a little bit longer and see what else we find. I think the campsite that I'm aiming for, I call it Island Camp because it's surrounded by a creek on 3 sides. And it's kind of up on a peninsula. That's probably coming up in the next half mile or so. I remember it being about 6 miles in. So if that one's not taken, we're going to stop and investigate it first. And then if it is taken, we'll keep looking around. As a matter of fact, as I'm driving in, I'm scouting every possible campsite that there might be, just for future reference. So yeah, here we go. All right, coming up here in just a few seconds is a fence on the right-hand side. Now, you are allowed to park here. As you can see, there's a parking spot right here. You can have a campsite. There's back down there in the woods. Pretty nice. But I'm not going to camp here yet. The spot I want is coming up soon. But there's several great spots along the way. You just pull over, hike in a little bit, and you got yourself a nice campsite. Most of these spots up here are fairly clean. Most people come up here and keep it nice. If they don't, you see some garbage, clean it up while you're here, And there's usually fire rings already built, so you don't have to do new fire rings, just use the pre-existing ones. Now, as you can tell, there's no more gravel on this road, really. It's just a pure dirt road now. Although it does change up from time to time, because now, look, there's gravel. Even though they've gotten a lot of rain up here because of the monsoon here this summer, the roads are in good shape and they're dry. There's been a couple little mud puddles along the way, but nothing major though, so I'm really digging this. There you go, a little washboardy there. So I'm going to head back here to spot A, and I think we're going to call it and just have a good camp spot to park off the road a bit. It is a little muddy back here. It's not horrible, but yeah, this is the spot where I'm going to stay up here. What's nice about this dirt road is it dead ends up here. There are no other campers behind me, so I will be up here on my own, and we are going to pull up here and park the truck back in there. So stay tuned. All right, folks, it is a holiday weekend, Labor Day 2024. I thought getting up here Friday morning would be helpful, but almost all the best campsites are taken. Now, I found one here that's not horrible. All right, I'm going to call this my campsite. It's going to be pretty awesome. Got the truck down there ready to go. And we're going to go get it open and start getting some gear. All right, here's the spot. It's kind of a little bit wide open, and I don't really love that too much, but there is a good fire pit here, good sitting log. I can get the truck almost level back there. And then back behind camp here, there is a creek bed. There's no water in it at the moment, but what's cool about it is it's a canyon with a mountain behind here, and I can go down here later and explore, maybe go up the canyon a ways and see what else is up there. So yeah, it's a decent spot. Not optimum, but still better than being in the city. Dusty as usual. Yep. Good thing I put a tarp back here. Yeah, I was saying it always gets dusty on these dirt roads, so I put a tarp over my gear. And the tarp, of course, is dirty. Look at all that dust coming off of there. But, all right, got a variety of gear in here. We're gonna start pulling some stuff out and getting some things set up and ready to go. All right, I got the back of the truck unloaded, and now pretty much the front of the truck. I'm gonna start going through all this gear. It looks like a lot of stuff, but I'm car camping, so I figure why not do it in comfort? And then I'll have myself a nice campsite for the rest of the day and the night, so yeah. All right, fast forward to a few minutes later. I got my little tarp shelter set up on the back of the truck here. First time I've ever done this, actually. Wasn't sure if it was gonna work, but bungee cords, tent stakes, walking sticks, same thing on the other side, and boom, we got ourselves a little shelter in here that I can actually stand up inside of, and it gives us plenty of shade. Awesome. All right, folks, it looks like I got set up just in the nick of time because it's starting to rain. I know you see blue skies out there, but straight up above me right here, some rain clouds. It's a gentle, nice little rain, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. Beautiful. And let's go in and check out the setup real quick. You can see the tarp's holding up pretty good. Got my kitchen table here, stove and other items. A little bit of gear in the end here that still needs to be organized, but check this out. That tent does not fit in there. As a matter of fact, it comes out a little bit over the tailgate, which is fine. I can still make it work. But even inside height-wise, it is almost touching the ceiling, like half inch, maybe an inch away. So it fits, but not in there. Like I could not close the tailgate probably. But that's okay. I got the rain fly on there in case it rains, and another rain fly up here above me. And this should be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. All right, folks, the rain went away for a little bit. It's coming back now. It's still very gentle, but I can hear it on the leaves of the plants over there, and it sounds really nice. And yeah, if I have to, I can get in here and stay dry. Awesome day so far. I'm really enjoying being out here. And there you go, a view of the woods next to camp. All right, now that the rain has begun and it's starting to get a little bit heavier, I'm definitely going to have to get under the tarp to stay dry. Not that I'm going to melt or anything. The rain feels kind of nice, but when you're in the mountains, a good rule of thumb is to not let yourself get soaked to the bone, because even if it's summer, you're definitely going to get cold. So yeah, gonna retreat under here, get some drinks, get some snacks, and maybe a couple ibuprofens because I'm getting a little bit of a headache. When I got here, I got so focused on working and setting up camp that I forgot to drink water. I'm starting to get a little dehydrated. So I'm gonna take a break back here out of the rain and remedy that situation right now. All right, neat thing about being out here during monsoon season is you'll get blue skies and rain at the same time. It'd be really cool if we got the conditions for a rainbow today. But yeah, this looks really neat back here. I'm definitely gonna get down in this canyon later and go up and explore behind here. Maybe even go all the way to the top and just see what the view is like on the other side. Anyway, yeah, I'm here at camp. It's a nice spot. So you can see very green and a lot of pine trees, big pine trees. So yeah, I'm enjoying this so far. It's very relaxing, and I am, getting my mental state in a better place. Even some thunder going off in the distance there. But yeah, you can see it's not a lot of rain yet. This is an old rain fly for a tent that doesn't exist anymore, but the rain fly was in perfect shape, so I decided to keep it. And here you go. Hey everybody. You know, at first I wasn't loving this site because it is kind of open, as you can see. I mean, it's surrounded by trees. I got the truck fairly level back there. But now that I've been here for a couple of hours, it's really starting to grow on me. It's peaceful, it's nice. It was hot a little bit earlier only because I was working hard and the sun was out. But now that it's cloudy and raining a little bit, the air has cooled off quite a bit, and this place is starting to grow on me. So yeah, it's an awesome spot and I'm really happy to be here. I don't know what kind of rain we're going to get today, but I'm prepared for just about anything. It could pour hard and I'd still be ready and good to go. So yeah, there you go. The truck does not look very level from here. It's a little bit tilted, but I put an extra air mattress in on the lower side, so that should level me out in the back while I'm sleeping. You know, I will say this, that being up here while it's daylight out in the mountains is not a problem. Not a problem at all. However, when it gets dark up here tonight, and I am not camping near anybody. I mean, I'm probably a mile or so from other people. This is a truly private spot, so I'm curious how my mind is going to react to being up here alone at the night. Because like I was saying earlier, I haven't really solo camped before, exactly like what I'm doing now. And we'll see, how it treats us. I think I'll be fine, but looking forward to it. All right, still raining out, which is great. I'm just hanging out here under the tarp, but I wanted to show this to you. Pumpkin chocolate chip soft top cookie sandwich. I found this at Smith's earlier, the grocery store out here in New Mexico, and this is going to be a nice little treat for later. I don't know if I'm going to eat the whole thing. I might save half of it for home, but yeah. This was a little ad-lib tarp shelter over the back of the truck. I thought it would be nice to be able to sit outside if it rained, and so far it's working out pretty good. The only thing that's wrong is it needs to be longer that way a little bit more, because it is dripping down on my table, which is why I got another tarp out here covering all that stuff up too. So maybe next time I put this up, you can see I still have some space back here. It can go this way back, so maybe we can get this thing another foot or two away from the back of the truck, but not right now. We'll deal with that later, but learning experience. Yeah, definitely need this tarp to go back a little bit further, because it is dripping only inches from my chair, as you can see. So I I'm right at the edge of potentially getting wet from the rain. So what I'm going to do is readjust this thing when the rain stops, and then we'll see if we can get it into a better position. Because right now it's working, but it's really at the edge, and as you can see on my table right here, if I didn't have the table covered up, it would be getting soaked as well. And who knows how much longer this rain's going to last, and if it's going to get worse before it gets better, we'll have to wait and see. Well, I can tell you folks, if the rain does get worse, I always have the option of going back into the truck here, either back by the tent or up in the front of the cab. So right now it's just a nice gentle rain. It's very peaceful, it's nice. The thunder's nice as well. No lightning I've seen yet with it, so that's kind of nice. So yeah. Right now I'm just sitting under the tarp, enjoying this nice little gentle rain. It's really nice, and this is one of the views that I'm looking out and seeing. Boy, the temperature really dropped out here once it got clouded up and started raining. I bet it dropped 10 degrees. A little bit of a cool breeze now. I'm still in a short sleeve shirt, but I have extra layers with me if I need them, including rain gear. So yeah, we're in good shape here.
Alright, it's really starting to come down a little heavier now. Still not bad, but definitely more rain than we had a few minutes ago. Check this out. So yeah, I'm gonna have to move my chair, I'm sure, because look how close that water is to my chair. I don't want my chair to get wet because I want to sit in that later and not get wet on the backside. But yeah, it's really really coming down on this rain fly. There you go. Alright, I had to retreat a little bit more up into the truck because where I was sitting is currently wet, and this rain fly definitely needs to move out another couple feet. But I'll try to do that later when it gets dry out again. So sitting on a tailgate, relaxing, enjoying this beautiful storm. It's really starting to come down. I kind of thought this might happen, so I'm prepared for it. Not nervous at all. It's interesting being here in a pretty good thunderstorm when you're all alone. Makes it even more interesting.
All right, we're getting a little break from the rain here. So I'm getting out and just walking around a little bit. Because even though I do love camping, the part of it where you're stopped and you're relaxing, you're not really rushing, I do enjoy that. But I also equally enjoy exploring. So if it stays dry here for a little bit, and maybe even if the sun comes back out, that'd be great. I'm going to hike down here. You can see like a grassy field beyond the trees down there. And I'm going to go down there and explore, see if I can find the creek. It's somewhere nearby. Plus, at some point, I'm going to have to wander around and try to find some firewood because, you know, it doesn't feel like camping. I mean, I know I have my truck here, and that's not like hardcore backcountry wilderness camping, but I am still here in the woods, in the mountains, and a campfire would be great. At some point, I'm going to put on my work gloves and wander around and find some firewood, so if it stays dry later, maybe we'll have a campfire. You can see there's a good fire pit here. Some dummies burn their garbage in here. I'll have to clean that out first. And the pit needs a little bit of repair. So at some point I'll get down here with a shovel, clean out the garbage, bag up the garbage so I can take that out with me, and then I will get this thing rebuilt and turned into a proper campfire again. I tell you what, now that I'm out walking around after that rain, my fingertips are cold. So it actually did drop down in temperature quite a bit up here, plus the moisture in the air. Anyway, this is the dirt road in, not the main dirt road. The main dirt road into the area is down there between the trees. You can kind of see it a little bit. But this is a little side road that you can follow up to camp off the main road, which is nice because you can car camp and be comfortable but still have that experience of not being around a bunch of other campers. But you do have to be careful on the way in because this puddle of mud right here is really deep. I had to drive through that a couple times, so my truck's going to be dirty for a while. And then up here you can see there's a fork in the road. Hold on, let me back this camera out. So there's a fork in the road. The left through the mud there, that goes back down to the main road. But this one to the right, it goes up to a dead end, kind of a little loop. And there's another campfire ring up there that's equally as nice. So it's close by. If someone did end up camping here tonight, they wouldn't bother me because between that camp over there is this ridge here. And you can see this road goes behind it. So both of these campsites are really nice and private, and they both dead end, which is nice because nobody can camp behind you. And really, there's really only two sites back here that are probably usable. The one on the left and the right, and then, you know, this is the road in again. So if you keep following this little dirt road here, it does come down to the main dirt road. Now there are a lot of secondary roads just like this one up here off a highway, up here off of Forest Road 376. And you just have to drive along and explore. When you find something that looks interesting, turn off and see if it goes to a good campsite. I drove past this one earlier I actually came and explored it on my way in, and I thought it'd be a good site to go to if I couldn't find something closer to the water. And it ended up being a really great site. I love it. It's a nice place to be. Okay, so down here you can see that's the main dirt road right there. That's Forest Road 376. And you can tell right away a big difference between this side road, which is dirt and mud, and you can see where the flow of water goes down it. No gravel really. Here's my tire tracks in. But yeah, you can see a difference. Forest Road 376 here is gravel, packed down really nicely, and it's right next to this area here. Now, if I was able to hike across there, maybe later if it clears up a little more, there is a creek down there somewhere. I'd like to go down there and find it if I could, because water sources in nature are just some of my favorite things to be near. The sound of it, something about it, just it's like one of the greatest sounds I've ever heard in my life. Is just a nice stream, especially when you're camping near it. It like lulls you to sleep. So yeah, this is Forest Road 376. I did go down this way a couple more miles, I think, after I first got to the site, because I was looking for a site that was on the right hand side down here by the river, but I did not find anything else. And so I did drive down, like I said, a couple more miles this way, and I've done this whole 20 miles before, so it's nothing new to me, but I'm still blown away every time I'm back here, because I mean, just look how awesome this is. And I bet there's no campers within half mile to a mile from me, so I'm really gonna be back here alone, and I'm looking forward to that, because the quiet of nature is something I need. So from the main road, you can see my white truck back there. So it's not 100% hidden, which is okay, because it signifies, hey, there's someone camping here. Please don't stop and camp here too, because one of the reasons I come out to dirt roads like this in New Mexico is to get away from the crowds. And right now, like I said, I'm probably a mile from anybody else. This is wonderful. Here, let me back out and show you how far away I really am from this, though. So there's my white truck there in the middle. You can kind of see it. It's a hidden little speck, but here, when you're standing here with the naked eye, it's obvious because it's a white truck and all that greenery. But yeah, I got a good camp going back there. It's awesome. This will probably be the place to see some wildlife potentially around sunset. So I'll come back down here a little later, see if any elk or anything come out into the wilderness here. Ooh, cool, check that out. There's a cloud right up there, just a little below the mountain edge there. That's always kind of neat. So yeah, sunset, come back out here, see if we can spot any critters. That would be awesome. And I gotta tell you, because it just rained and there's so much grass and trees and plants out here, it just smells awesome right now. Kind of an earthy, damp smell, but not a bad one. It's like fresh smelling, clean. yeah, I just decided to take a walk down the main dirt road here and explore this area a little bit, especially the field over here, because it is really awesome, beautiful, and green up here. Look at that. So getting out here after the rain, it just smells so fresh and clean, and just walking on the dirt road is even kind of nice. I am going to go back to camp here in a few minutes though, maybe get some lunch going, and then I'm going to explore back behind camp. I'll take you to that here in just a little bit. All right, it's starting to rain again. I'm going to head back to camp this way and just be prepared in case it gets a lot of moisture like we got a little bit earlier. Yeah, keeps thundering. I haven't seen lightning yet, but which is always good, but some of the thunder's been pretty close and it's been pretty loud. So yeah, heading back to camp. When people think about New Mexico, ones who haven't been here especially, they think a lot of desert. You know, it's a desert state, and yeah, there is a lot of that. But the desert's beautiful as well. But there are a lot of mountainous green areas like this, just covered in pine trees. I think about 25% of our state is actually heavily wooded. And so, you know, it's a really great place to visit and to live. I'm really happy to be able to call New Mexico my home state. After walking back down the road, I've come to the little side dirt road here that goes back to camp. If we look up here, you can see the speck of white back there in the woods where the truck is at. So we're going to walk up here and just show you what it looks like. Because I don't think I filmed this too much when I was driving in earlier. I got a little bit of it, but... So most of the roads back here, even the secondary ones, are not horrible. You could get a smaller truck back here, maybe even a car, but you'd have to be careful and go slow, especially when you get to the muddy spots. But right now it's just a little bit wet. Yeah, this is awesome. It's starting to become real though that I'm staying the night out here alone, and I'm pretty far away from other people, so it's kind of interesting. Oh boy, I'm going up. Starting to get out of breath. Okay, so fork in the road. That way goes to a camp that dead ends back there. It's like a loop. this way goes to where I'm at. But as you go this way, there's also another fork in the road. My fork goes to the right around this ridge and parked back there. This left fork just goes back to this same loop over here that connects on this little side road over here. So somebody could take that spot and I wouldn't even know they were there. Okay. Continuing the journey. Yeah, my truck's gonna have some mud on it because of this, but I'll have to give it a good wash when I get back to town. I should say a good wash when I get back to town, but when I was a kid, my family and me, we said wash. So sometimes I'll throw that in for fun. But yeah, here you go. So it's a big dirt road here, but it goes back to kind of a big clearing. You could easily pull several vehicles back here and have several campers. No problem. There's plenty of space for that. There you go. And there's the stormtrooper parked in the back, looking pretty good still. Let's go check on it and then take a little break, like I said earlier, have a little lunch, and then maybe explore some more. All right, somebody in my vehicle. Oh yeah, look at that. Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan, and Han Solo. You're inside there flying it. What the heck? Anyway, yeah, everything looks secure back here still. Nothing fell apart. And underneath here, all my gear still nice and dry. All right. Awesome, guys. This really is good medicine. Just being out here in the woods while it's raining, it's quiet, nobody's nearby, no city sounds whatsoever. All right, got back just in time. Starting to rain again. So I'm gonna hang out here at camp for a little bit, and then maybe after the rain, I'll go do some exploring back here behind camp. That is gonna be awesome. This place looks really cool back here. Okay, yeah. Good times. I did forget to mention something throughout the day while I've been here, and that is I brought a couple of board games with me that I can play solo. And if it dries up and gets nice later, I can get this table uncovered and everything dried off. I can get one of those board games out. I think that would be a fun way to kill some time while you're sitting out here just relaxing. So yeah, good times, good times, good times. All right, folks, it's about 3:30 in the afternoon now. I've been up here since about 11, I think. So about 4.5 hours I've been up in the mountains. Although I think I probably got up here to the mountains a little bit sooner. I was probably in the mountains around 11, but I got to this campsite around 11:30. And I've been really enjoying it. It's been peaceful here. I got out and did a little bit of exploring when it stopped raining. It's raining again right now though, which is fine. But I'd like to talk a little bit about solo camping because it's like a rite of passage for a lot of people. Now, to be fair, I have my truck with me, so I have a quick way out if I need it. But I just want to make sure that you get your mind in the right spot because right now it's daylight out. It's easy to be brave when you can see everything around you. But once the darkness comes to the mountains, it's a whole different environment, and you really need to get your mind in the right spot so that you don't freak yourself out when you're out here. So this will be my first official overnighter alone. Like I said, there's no campers for a couple miles or more. But back this way, about a half mile, maybe mile down the road, there are some RV campers. So I'm not that far from people but far enough that this is a true solo test for me. So I'm excited about it. I'm curious to see, you know, how my mind changes a little bit whenever it gets dark out here. And I think I just saw a chipmunk over there. All right, time to get up and go do some exploring. I'm gonna explore back in here. I'm gonna follow up this little dry creek bed and see how far from the top I can get, because it would be neat to get to the top and just see what's on the other side. Yeah, when I was sitting there talking to you guys, I saw a chipmunk go down under this overhang here. I don't see it now. It must be hiding out because it knows that I'm here, but yeah, down there somewhere there's a critter. All right, I'm on a little walkabout behind camp. I've been eyeballing this for a little bit, so thought before it got too much later, get back here and explore it. Whoa, steep and rugged back here. I was eyeballing going up this from a ways back, but it looks a little more sketchy now up here close. It's good to know there's a lot of firewood back here, though. If I need more, lots and lots of firewood. And this is some rugged mountain cover back here. Not impossible to get through, but definitely a challenge. All right, time to find some firewood. It's still raining, but it's a light rain, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a fire going or not because everything's pretty wet, but there are some dry spots under the trees. We're gonna see what we can find. A lot of good kenneling sort of stuff just real close here by, and some of it's still pretty dry because it was under the pine trees, so yeah. All right, the pile is growing. You can see here the dirt is pretty wet. That piece of wood is pretty wet, but if we go over here under these pine trees, you'll see the earth is still pretty dry. So is this twig that snapped right in half. So yeah, there's still dry stuff up here even with all the rain. So we'll have a fire tonight, but it'll be a small controlled one, and it's a good place to have it because there's a lot of dirt around the area where the campfire's at. The fire pit needs a few repairs and tweaks. Got my trusty shovel to kind of help with that. But one thing I want to say real quick is I found some garbage in the fire pit. And folks, please don't do that. There's nothing you should be burning out here except for wood. And I cleaned it all out and bagged it all up and taken it out. But please don't burn your garbage out here in nature. It's just not proper. So yeah, there's lots of rocks here. This thing's falling apart a little bit. So let's get started. Already got a little pile of wood going and a much nicer, safer fire pit now. So this will be good tonight to get going. It's gonna be not out of breath from doing that, but yeah, there you go. All right. Time to wander off for some more firewood. I hit the jackpot down there. That's a good little supply. This one's big. There we go. All right, 3 logs for the price of 1. All right. All right, I think the rain is over for a while, so I'm gonna pull this blue tarp off and lay it out somewhere and let it dry, and maybe get my kitchen prepped here for a little bit, because dinner's not too far away and I'm gonna want to eat something here in a little bit. So here we go. All right, we'll see if that dries it out, and then it's there if I need it. All right, folks, fast forward to about 6 p.m. here on Friday night, and it's clearing up a little bit. As you can see, there's some blue skies above me. It's dried out quite a bit. I wouldn't doubt if it will rain again maybe tonight, but right now it's just beautiful and nice out. Just look at this beautiful classic New Mexico blue skies here. You can hear a little 4-wheel drive vehicle going down there on the road. But yeah, here it is. Beautiful. All right, some time for some board gameage. So I have this mat for a pool game called Dust Runner, and the whole game fits into this tin. You don't really need the mat to play it. You can do it without. This is just a nice little piece to have that goes with it, but everything else is in here. The cards, the dice, the various pieces, the cars. So I'm going to get it set up here, and I'll explain it to you guys a little bit as I go along. So yeah, got enough time to relax out here and just play a little board game, card game thing here. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. All right, well, here's Dust Runner set up and ready to go. It's a pretty cool little game. We'll just kind of look at it real quick here. Basically, the objective of the game is you have stolen plans from a barbaric raider base and now must traverse the landscape to bring them back to camp. Victory is only had if you can make it home before either being caught by pursuing raiders or killed on the road. There you go. Dust Runner, little solo board game here, and gonna get into a few rounds of it and see if I can get the stolen plans back to my base. All right, sun's coming back out. I bet with these clouds and stuff that we're probably gonna have a really nice sunset here in a couple hours, and that's gonna be awesome. It's just absolutely beautiful out now. This is so great. As I say a lot in my videos, nature is indeed good medicine. All right, here in just a little bit, I'm going to be heading back to my camp, and this will be the last I see and hear of civilization or people for the next, 12 hours or so. It's going to get dark here in a little bit, and I am going to be completely alone at the end of a dirt road. It's already getting dark back there, but you can see the sun is still setting here on the mountain. And of course, here comes some loud ATVs, but they're perfect for back here. So yeah, this will be my last bit of civilization and people before I head back to my camp for the night. That looks like fun. That would be a lot of fun to drive one of those things around, even though they're a little bit loud. Yeah, there was 4 young people and they're smiling. They waved to me. They were happy. You can tell it's just being out in the mountains, there's something about it. It brings out a happiness, If you're not happy out here, then you're doing it wrong, because this is a happy place. And it's just really beautiful to watch the sunset and just, be out here in the clean mountain air. And I'll tell you what, it's getting chilly quick. I'm feeling it in my upper body. I only have a t-shirt and a long sleeve shirt on, and there's a little cold breeze going on out here. So I'm going to head back to camp here in just a little bit and get some layers going, and maybe some dinner too. That is exactly what I'm talking about right there. This beautiful, beautiful spot. Oh, this is a little tiny one here. Must be for little kids or something. Once again, it looks like a lot of fun. You were driving this thing around. It looks like a blast. That was a grown man and his kid. That was awesome. He looked so huge in that tiny little thing, but boy, they're having fun. That is the nice thing about the Gilman tunnels. Even though you do have some noise go by your camp like that every once in a while, once everybody settles in for the night, it gets really quiet up here, and it's just families. Families come up here from Albuquerque a lot because it's an hour-and-a-half drive, and it's just a beautiful, quiet and very scenic place. I mean, look at how awesome just standing here looking at the mountains is. Now I'm catching a whiff of campfire in the air, and it smells nice. So I am going to head back to my camp and get one going as well. I got the campfire area prepped, and we are going to get back there and get a fire going for the evening in just a few minutes. Sunset time here in the old Jemez Mountains of New Mexico. Gilman Tunnels Road, Forest Road 376. These are just the random thoughts of a person standing on the side of a dirt road in the mountains as the sun sets, when he is about to do his first solo camp overnight. Now I know you see there's some traffic going through here, but once all this settles down and the sun goes down, then it won't be any traffic. It'll just be quiet. Okay, back there about the center of frame, you can see my truck. That is base camp. So we're gonna head back there, and it's campfire time. It's starting to get chilly out, so we're gonna get back there and get a nice campfire going. And it's gonna be wonderful.com. All right, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. We're gonna walk about 2 or 3 minutes back here to camp, and it's time to start to enjoy the evening festivities and testing out how I feel about camping alone. I've done a lot of hiking alone, but an overnighter, that's another matter altogether. So I'll update you guys as we continue throughout the evening, and we'll see how it goes. All right, folks, we got some water heating up here because I'm going to go ahead and make some dinner. Why not, you know? I'm going to do something simple, though. We got this Mountain House Adventure Meal creamy mac and cheese that we're going to put boiling water in. And then we're going to add some Hermel with beans in it. So we'll have ourselves a nice chili mac. I'll probably have leftovers to bring home for tomorrow. I'll just stash it in the cooler with the ice. But yeah, this is a simple, easy meal. I'll show you how it is when it's all done. All right, it's when you stop paying attention that the sunset starts to happen, and the magic is here now. All right, we got the tent going. It's looking nice. And dinner is almost done, which is right over here in that pouch. I'll show it to you here in just a second. There you go. Chili mac. A little heavy on the water side, but that's okay. We'll be bringing some of this home tomorrow night for sure. But yeah, this is going to be yummy. And I will talk a little bit about staying the night out here alone. I thought once it got dark, I was going to get nervous. Maybe a little bit of fear. And that never happened. Once it got dark, I got distracted by other things that were happening, like trying to get this fire going about 9 o'clock last night with very wet wood. That took me about 30 minutes to get this thing established. I wasn't thinking about it being dark out. I was focused on the fire. And then once the fire was going and established, it was really nice. I stayed out here for about an hour, and around 10:30 maybe, I went to bed. And once I got into the tent, I felt fine there too. There was absolutely no nerves with it being dark out here and with me solo camping for the first time. I get this thing in my head when I'm back in town, when it gets dark, to think about being out here alone in the wilderness, in the darkness. It messes with your head when you're in the city. But once you get out here, you find out it's a very peaceful, relaxing thing. It's quiet, it's nice. I really thoroughly enjoyed the solo camp. It was great. All right, it took a few minutes to get this established because the wood is so wet. But a little bit of work and ingenuity, sometimes you get it done still. So I have a few logs laying around the perimeter on the inside that are wet, kind of give them a chance to dry off a little bit before I put them on the fire. See how that goes. We've almost got it officially established here. It's getting close. A few more huffs and puffs and a few more dry logs. We'll be in mighty good shape.
still pretty wet, so it still needs some huffing and puffing. All right. First night alone in the wilderness. My first campfire alone. Pretty cool. Overcame very wet wood to get to this point, of course. But it's happening. We got us a beautiful little campfire. The last time I checked the temperature out here, it was about 58 degrees. That was about an hour ago maybe, so I'm sure it's 55-ish by now, but it doesn't feel cold out at all. It's really nice and calm and very beautiful. All right, that fire is established. As I was saying a few minutes ago too, I got some wood laying around inside the fire pit. It's wet, so hoping this will dry it out a little bit before I put it on, but yeah, that's fully established. No more having to feed that thing other than just regular logs. No lighters, no matches needed at this point. And now time for some classic slow motion campfire. All right, folks, it's awesome out. It's peaceful, quiet, and very, very dark. Anyway, it's a beautiful night out. Really loving just being here, campfire, the quiet. Hopefully I'll be able to get some shots of the stars tonight too, because it did clear up. I'm pretty sure there's stars coming out even right now as we speak, so. Good howdy, folks. Welcome to another James Blackburn experience. I woke up early this morning about 6:30. It was a little cold and damp. Even though it didn't rain last night, there was a lot of moisture in the air. And trying to get this fire going again has been difficult because everything is so wet. But we're going to have ourselves a nice little morning campfire here. I'm going to sit and relax in my chair. And we're just going to enjoy this beautiful morning. Got down to 43 degrees last night and there was a lot of moisture in the air. It's clear out right now and I don't think it rained again last night, but there's just a lot of moisture in the air because look at all the greenery around here. It's pretty awesome. It's a small little campfire, but it's putting out some warmth. It feels really nice. Well above freezing still. I never got cold in my tent. It was fine. Heck, I even slept with the fan on for the first couple hours. And then I turned that off once it got cool enough, and I slept really good. It was a nice overnight in that tent, and my sleep bag and pillow, everything was comfortable and kept me dry and warm. It was very, very enjoyable. Yeah, this fire took a few minutes this morning too. When I got down here about 6:30, I noticed that it was out dead cold to the world. So I did some digging down in the ash, and way deep down inside there was a couple of little hot coals still kind of simmering, and I was able to build those little hot coals into an actual fire. It did take a little bit of work and a lot of breath blowing on it because everything is wet out here, but it's pretty well established now. It may not be burning hot and tall, but it's, you know, the core of it is hot, and there's lots of hot coals down in there. So this fire is going to go until I decide to put it out, which I will before I leave today. I will make sure it's out dead cold. But for now, 43 degrees, about 7 in the morning probably right now, and having a little campfire feels good. Okay, the sun is finally starting to get into my campsite here. You can see the truck is mostly in shadow still. Why do I mention the sun getting here is because a lot of my gear is wet from just a lot of rain yesterday, as well as moisture in the air overnight. And I will need some time to get all that stuff out in the sun before I pack it up. So I just been hanging out here by the campfire. I've been up for about 2 hours, and it's about 8:30 in the morning. And so yeah, just enjoying a nice campfire moment and watching the sun slowly come into the mountains here. It's a beautiful morning, really is. The fire's pretty much almost done. A couple blue jays that keep visiting me and landing in this tree up here. I don't know if I see them right now, but they were just there a minute ago, and I think they're used to humans camping here and probably having food out. So I'm not going to feed them, but they're very curious about me, though, I think. The last bit of the campfire is kind of burning out there. I'm going to let this burn out for a little bit, and then before I leave, I will drown this in water and make sure it's out cold. Don't want to have any problems. This place is too beautiful and green to want to lose it to a fire. So yeah, so make sure
it's out cold before I leave. All right, gonna head back up to the truck, lay out some of the wet gear in some sunny spots, and just kind of start prepping for the gear breakdown, because I'm only gonna do one night out here, and that was last night. I'm heading home today. Got a Labor Day weekend, so I'll have a nice relaxing time at home with my other half, and we will maybe go on a hike at some point this weekend again, but this will be my only night of camping though. So there you go. It's an interesting looking setup. That much is clear. All right, folks, that was a fun, nice evening. I really enjoyed being out here. Doing a solo was not frightening at all. I really never had any moments of doubt or fear. It just was what it was. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah, so yeah, no moments of fear at sleeping out here overnight by myself. It does help to know that, a mile away or so there are other people camping, but yeah, I was out here alone. It was great. I think maybe I might do another solo again eventually. Next time, backpacking into the backcountry. That would be awesome. Okay, back to the reality of the reality of the reality is I'm going to start packing up the gear behind me, and we're going to start getting some stuff dried out, and maybe in an hour or two, head out. No rush, though. Well, up from 43 to 50 degrees, so at least it's a little bit warmer out. Before I take this tarp down, I wanted to show you really quickly kind of how I did it. First of all, over here on the side, I hooked up bungee cords to it. Let me go up a little closer and show you. Bungee cords tied to the wheels and hooked in to the tarps, and then you follow that out here, and I use my hiking sticks here to support the outside of it. And I also used bungee cords here that go down, and I used them with tent stakes to hold them into place. And you know what, we didn't get any crazy winds yesterday, but this held up fine. Even in the winds, even in the rain, having this bungee cord sort of set up here, holding the hiking sticks into place. At first I was like, well, it's kind of short. But it ended up working out good because the slope of it coming down like that allowed the water from the rain to drain off easily and didn't pull up on top. And then when I opened up the inside of my hatch here, it pushed this whole tent up, so it makes it now so I can stand inside of there, and it's a nice little shelter. Really came in handy yesterday since it rained so much. I mean, I had a couple hours of rain and I hung out in here and under that tarp, and it was great. As you can see, I can stand underneath here. Yeah, my head touches a little bit, but up here it's nice and pitched, and it was a really good idea for shelter. I want to remember this one because I might do this again. The only thing that would make it a little bit better is if the green shelter here went that way another foot or two, which I have the space for it, because it was dripping off right here, right next to where I was sitting. So I had to, at one point, sit on the tailgate to stay out of the rain. So yeah, moving the tarp a little bit to the right, my right, that way, and it would be a better established thing. So right now I got my little battery powered
Sun Life fan going here. This thing is awesome. I love bringing this with me when I camp. And I'm blowing it up onto the tarp here, and the rain fly, kind of giving it a little bit more time to dry and a little bit easier to get it dried out before I have to take it down. So I hung a headlamp here, so it's kind of my work light. I had a lantern in the tent as well, and then I have a headlamp that I wore walking around when doing stuff. So I had no problem seeing out here last night. It was great. All right, the packing and organizing is going pretty good. Probably be out of here in the next hour or so. Just trying to make sure everything's dry first, because there's a lot of moisture up here yesterday and last night. Just about the last of it. I have a shovel still down by the campfire, and I have a bunch of water prepped to put that out. It's probably burned out already, but I'm gonna drown it anyway just to be on the safe side. So yeah, it was a good day. It really was. All right, well, join me as I drive out of this beautiful location and back to town. See ya. Somehow a spot always looks a lot more lonely when all your gear's put away. You don't have any shelter put up, or a tent, or a tarp, or a table. It just, goes back to being nature again. Even though it was home for the last 24 hours, it was a good spot to be. I enjoyed this. This was great. Goodbye, campsite. You served me well.
I enjoyed this wilderness solo, where the only person I had to argue with was myself. But there were no arguments at this place. Only peace, tranquility, and plenty of snacks. I survived my first solo camping trip. At age 53, I ventured into the wilderness armed with my tent, some granola bars, and a faint sense of adventure. And by wilderness, I mean a campsite along Gilman Tunnels Road 376 in the Jemez Mountains of New Mexico. I breathed deeply, feeling the weight of my worries lifting. The quiet was pure gold for my soul, calming the chatter of my busy mind. The lack of city sounds was perfect for me. As I drove down the road, the world transformed. The scenery was lovely, and I discovered hidden streams, ancient trees, and some fantastic camp spots along the way. Solitude allowed me to listen to the whispers of my heart. I reflected on the paths I've taken and the choices I've made. Regrets and triumphs are all woven into the tapestry of my story. And in that stillness, I find acceptance, compassion, and peace. The wilderness taught me that growth happens in the spaces between. In the quiet moments we discover who we are, what we need, and what truly matters. As I gazed into the future, I knew that this journey, this life, is truly precious. I carry the lessons of this solo camping trip with me. The wilderness remains my sanctuary and my church. Whenever I return, I'm reminded that life's beauties lies in its simplicity, its mysteries, and the ability to laugh at ourselves. I'm grateful for this journey. At age 53 and beyond, knowing that every step forward is a step into the unknown, and that's where the magic lies. Remember, folks, love, hate. Take care of each other. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Remember, folks, life is beautiful if you know where to look. Keep your eyes, your heart, and your mind open. It just might lead you somewhere special. Thank you for watching the James Blackburn Experience. Please check out my channel for over 1,000 additional video adventures.
Purple Martians.
All right, that's perfect. I love it.